Right, tonight I've stayed at home, so I'm in my garden just looking out the back across the olive trees. So, I've got to say hi to all the good people of Greece, all the people that are doing good work, and all the people around the world that are trying to help us here. We've got to, there's a lot of tension in the local towns and stuff all over Greece, I should think, because of what's happening. And I know in our local town, and you get people blaming other people and everything else. Oh, it's her down the road or her next door. She's speaking to him, he's speaking to him and everything else. And they're giving clothes to him. And if it weren't for them giving clothes and everything else, we wouldn't have the problem. No, it's not that. Everyone's trying to do their best. Everyone's trying to help. We have two main problems, And one of them, we know the bankers and all that, but one of the main problems is the propaganda. In Europe and in newspapers and stuff like that. And we have one newspaper, the Daily Mail in England, they've done a report on Kos, saying about the migrants and the boat people. One thing I'd like to say to this paper is they're not migrants and boat people, they are refugees coming from war zones. Yeah? Refugees from war zones. Yeah. And saying boat people and migrants, it's a really bad article. You can look at this article on Facebook. It's the Daily Mail. Look at the Daily Mail and put Kos into Facebook, and you'll come up with this article. It's a disgusting article. And this is the sort of propaganda we're getting from certain newspapers across Europe to run down Greece's tourism industry. Yeah, this is a big problem. For the people that love Greece and everything, do me a favour, don't buy the Daily Mail. And another guy from Holland said he has a Dutch newspaper the same. I don't know which Dutch newspaper it is, and I haven't seen the articles. But people from Holland that love Greece, if you know which paper it is, stop buying it, please. The only way we're going to stop these people trying to destroy this country is by sticking up for this country. And if we can hurt their pockets, they'll stop speaking bad against this country. You read the article in the Daily Mail, it is really bad. And it really does, tell people really not to come here. And that is rubbish, There is, I would have said 98% of Greece, they don't see any refugees at all. They really don't. Because, they're only coming in on a few islands and that. And these newspapers are having a right go at the whole of Greece, and it's ruining the tourism right throughout Greece. They've dropped the tourism in Greece by 25% so far, and they're trying to drop it even more. Believe me, this is propaganda. This is a few horrible newspapers and horrible reporters doing a really bad job, and they're making the best they can to destroy this country, Don't listen to it. It's rubbish. It is absolute rubbish. Greece is a great place, and as I say, 98% of people would never ever see a refugee when they come on holiday anyway across Greece. It's only these few islands here, and we're doing our best to look after them. And a lot of people are coming in to help. It's please, take your holidays in Greece and everything else. Some people come through and said that to me, well, I've got children and that. Yeah. Well, personally, if I had a child and I knew something this was going on, if the child was in like 12 onwards, something like that, I would bring them here and let them talk to the refugees and show them what humanity is really like. I can understand the younger generation, the babies and stuff, and the younger kids, because that in that situation, go to another island in Greece, go on, or Greece's mainland, find somewhere like that, because I know, babies do pick up on mum and dad, and if mum and dad's sad, the babies will be sad, and I really do understand. But honestly, even Molivos today, there's no refugees. We've got most of them out, and a lot of them are walking. But even when they are here, it's not a big problem. It's not, okay, you see a few people and everything else. The problem is, the authorities here making them walk on the roads in the wet and in the conditions the authorities are putting these refugees in. This is the problem. This is why the tourists are getting upset. And there's no need to do this. There is really no need to do it. You're just making these people suffer for no reason at all. And by doing that, you are killing our tourist industry. Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah. Right. I've got this on. few things I'd like to jot down on a bit of paper. Anyway. My daughter, she went down to Mytilene this morning, which I said in the other blog. She took a couple of friends into the another two friends of hers and a boy. They actually went into one of the holding areas and they took a load of Pampers and water and stuff in. They let them in and everything else, and it was good. It's really good. These girls have never. The two girls she took in, they're lovely Greek girls, and they'd never sort of been put into that situation. And Elaine just took them in, and she's chatting to some of the refugees and that, and they start talking to them and everything else. And they both said, "What an experience!" They just couldn't believe. And they said, "These people are really nice." Yeah. Nice. Fair play to you. Yeah, and fair play to my daughter. To do that. Mytilene is a big problem. Mytilene, we're having our problems and everything else here, but with a little bit more organisation, a bit of common sense between us here and the authorities, we can organise things and we can do things. But Mytilene, everyone lands up in Mytilene, and if you're down in Mytilene, or if there's an organisation you can get hold of, try put in Mytilene, Lesvos organisations, something like that, and try to make sure that they are proper organisations. But if not, if you're in Mytilene, you want to go down there shopping for the day, or you're going to Turkey for the day. A lot of people go to Turkey for the day. If you can take some Pampers, ladies' towels, hand wipes, things like that, and just pop them in by the gate. There'll be someone on the gate. That'd be great. I know they are short of Pampers and towels and baby wipes down there, and everyone's trying to do their best, but they've got thousands of people down there. They really have. So if you're if you're passing by, just drop them in. That'd be great. Athens needs a lot of help. Athens need aid agency. Mytilene needs aid agency. We all need agency, but we keep shouting and nothing comes. So we have to try and deal with this ourselves the best we can. Right. Now, if you're not here and you want to give some help, if you go to Facebook and you put in "Help for Refugees in Molivos," you'll come up with a page there, and there's a list there of items needed, and also how to donate money. And the Timothy and the guys that are taking the money, they keep everything open. They put things up on Facebook to show your checks and stuff that you've given, and your letters of support and things like this. And they keep everything right open, so everyone knows what's going on. They know where the money's being spent and everything else. Fair play to these two guys. They're doing there's two guys there doing that, and all fair play to everyone in Molivos that's helping on that side of things. Right, we need some sort of reception area here in Molivos, because this is where most of them come in. We need not just one here, we need one over near Madimados or over near Sycamenia. Somewhere where they can rest up for 24 hours. They've gone through a tremendous struggle, everything else. They've got across the water there. Some of them, the boat came in the other day, they hadn't been fed for 3 days. They just need somewhere. They don't want to stay here, believe me. I don't care what anyone says, they do not want to stay here. They want to get in further down, and they want to go across and up into Germany and places like this. So what we need here, to be humans, is give them some reception areas, a couple of reception areas on the north coast of Lesvos, so we can bring these people in, let them have a shower, decent toilet, so they can do their business, and let them rest for 24 hours or 48 hours, and then if we can stop what's going on here regarding the higher authorities stopping people going in buses and stuff like this, if we can break all those laws down and get rid of this, rubbish above us, and then we can lay on transport to take them down, or get the people to take them down or whatever. But that's what they need. They need a rest. A lot of them come across and they're in shock. They've been through I dread to think what some of them have been through, but some of the stories I heard is unbelievable, really. But they need somewhere they can clean up, wash up. And they don't need to feel like prisoners either. A lot of these people coming across, especially from Damascus, keep saying, that they've got money and stuff. If the Turkish police don't take the money off of them, then they get through with it. They've got money. And I think these reception areas, we'll arrange it when it comes open, but these people should be allowed to go and buy their family food and stuff, if they want to, and it help out the people here also. And if they want to pop in, if if they're clean and tidy and that, and they want to pop into Mollyvoss and sit down and have a decent meal and that, they should be allowed to. And that applies to everywhere throughout Greece. They should be allowed to go out and have a decent meal if they're tidy in that. I mean, it's different. Some of the lads, they've got no money and stuff for the Afghanistans and that. They've got no money, so that's a different kettle of fish, and it can be intimidating. There's a big crowd of them, so they should stay in until until we can get them down to a camp where we can process them and everything else. But if we set up these areas, then when we set them up, we should discuss this amongst ourselves and try to give them as much freedom as we can. Right. Well, one thing we can't do, we can't have this what we got now. We can't have them sleeping in the bus stop at the front of Mollyvoss, where there's no toilets, there's no waters. We had 150 people there, and then everyone's kicking up stink. Look at this stink and everything else, and it's you people bringing them here and everything else. This is rubbish. It's the authorities making them do this. It's the authorities on the top. Everyone here are doing their best. Yeah. So stop moaning and groaning that you don't want them here and don't want them here. There's only a few people doing this, but everyone's trying their best, and it's not our fault. We're trying to feed the people and everything else, and we're doing our best. And everyone in Mollyvoss is trying to do their best as well. So what we've got to do is sort out some sort of reception area. Right. I know we need to arrange ourselves organise ourselves a lot better, because we're only, as I say, none of us are used to this. We don't know what we're doing, and we really need to organise ourselves a lot better, because the situation is going to get a lot worse. It really is. It's going to get a lot worse. So we really need to organise ourselves a lot better. And we've really got to stop this making the refugees walk. This is doing Greece so much damage. These people in the top there that are making these people walk along the street roads with babies and children and sick people, and they can't see a doctor, and all these stupid things that are coming out, and these things about they're going to take people's cars off them if they pick up a refugee, and these things have to stop. These people that are putting these things in, are making these stupid rules and stuff. These people, you've got to go. We need new people with hearts and stuff, because you are destroying Greece. There's tourists and that crying and everything. They're not crying because the tourists are here in Mollyvoss and everything else. They're crying to watch the pain and suffering these people are having, because you want them to have it. These few people on top are doing this. And you are just making so much damage to the tourism of Greece, you people in the hierarchy on these islands. It's disgusting. There's no need for this. We can have a reception area, we could make them rest, we could clean them up and everything, and we can get transport down. And I'm sure, I know if you haven't got the money, I'm sure we can get donations coming in from all around the world, and we can get a coach going down every day, 2 days, and get them to the reception areas, and sort that out. There's no reason to do what's being done now. It's disgusting. All you're doing is creating so many problems, and these people are human beings. A lot of them are richer than we would ever be, and they're very polite, and they're very nice, and they're very gentle people. Yeah. I think if the tables were turned, say we had a group of English people doing the same, I guarantee, if you give the children food, you would have the adults in England ripping it out their hands, the thugs and stuff like this. But here the people are so polite, they're so nice, they're so calm. Yeah. And all these stupid stories that some of these people are spreading around, that what horrible people they are, that is complete rubbish. They're desperate people, and they need food in that. I know if I was in a situation where I've brought my family and they haven't been fed for 4 or 5 days, and I see an apple tree, I would go out and jump over that fence and I'd get apples for my family. You must look after your family, and these people are really trying their best, and we need to give them our best, because we're the ones that can help them. And not only that, if we look after the refugees in a proper way, the tourist industry here is going to grow massively. Yeah. And just to give a bit of love and a bit of help and keep them clean and keep them happy and put them up through Greece, everyone around the world is going to say, God, what people. And I know the people are doing a terrific job now, but it's these people on the top, these few people, and it's not a lot of people, it's a few people on the top that are doing so much damage. When we can turn it right the way around, and we can get the tourist industry coming up again. Yeah. And that was the second thing. The first thing is the propaganda. The second thing is this hierarchy of people that are doing so much damage to tourism here in the whole of Greece, not just on these islands, because these people are photographing these refugees walking and crying and bleeding and all the things, the state they're in and everything else, and it's going all around the world. And everyone's seen it. So not only are they wrecking tourism on our islands, they're wrecking tourism right throughout Greece, on all the other islands. Yeah? So that's got to change. Well, I keep saying it's got to change. Someone's got to do something with those. Otherwise, we're not going to have any tourism in Greece in a couple of years at all. We're going to have none. Yeah, because of these few people. And it is a very, very small number of people. Yeah. Right. Anyway, the people left this morning from Molivos. They've all gone from the bus. The ones that slept last night, they've all started making their way down to Mytilene. I went down, you know, and it was this morning, and to give them breakfast and that, you know, and everything was folded up, everything was clean, the area was all clean. And seeing we've had sort of 150 people for 4 or 5 days coming and going from that little spot, you know, it's only a little bus shelter and a little bit of ground around it. It was absolutely immaculate. You know, and there was about 20 left, and it was so clean and tidy, I couldn't believe it. You know, fair play to them. They tidied up everything themselves. No one done it for them. They done it all themselves. Fair play to them. What a good job, you know, to see that. If I had 150 English people in there, you know, after they left, God, you know, I can imagine the mess. Yeah, so... Or any other people, most of the people you think, you know, they just drop their rubbish and leave it and things like this. But these people, fair play. They do, you get the odd one or two drop the rubbish down the road, but as soon as you say, you know, pick it up, or one of the others will pick it up, they do it. It's not a problem. You know, you always have these people in all walks of life. You've got 150 people, football fans walking down the road. What a mess they leave, yeah? So, you know, don't say, look at these filthy refugees, because it's not like that. It really isn't, you know. And the amount of mess they left, and even here in Efteling, you know, it's fairly clean. You know, we've had thousands come through here this spring, you know, and when you walk down the beaches, they're fairly clean, you know, and they do clean up generally most of the time behind themselves. Right, today we had a little bit of respite. There was white water in the bay today, and white water I mean waves, you know, and we've all had a little bit of respite here. You know, in Mytilene they haven't. Man, they've got no respite at all. They have to go 24 hours a day every day. You know, God, you know. We're having problems here. I dread to think what sort of problems they're having down there. Which is, and in Athens and places like that, they're going all the time. We're not. When people come through here, they come and go. And a little bit of common sense, we can make it a lot easier. And we, you know, with the eyes of the world on us, we can get a lot of tourism coming in for the things we do. You know, it will come back on us. You know, so right. You know, the people here in the little towns, Skala Sikamenia, Madi Mados, you know, they're all little towns scattered in the mountains and along the coastline. You know, they're doing a terrific job. You know, in some of these little places, you know, there's only a couple of 100 people living. You know, and they're having to put up with thousands of people. And they're really doing their best, you know. If it wasn't through this hierarchy here, you know, it'd be incredible what's going on here. You know, this hierarchy, these people are so scared of these few people sitting on top saying, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do that, and don't do this. You know, they're frightened of them. Yeah? And, God, that definitely has got to change here. If you really want to keep tourism in Greece, you've got to change these people. I mean it. They've really got to go. Right. I have to say something about a lovely lady. I did mention a lady who's got a little shop in the harbour, that's doing so much. She's running around doing their drugs, and she caught me and got me into a shop, and she paid for everything for the refugees and all that. No, she hasn't got the shop anymore. I was informed last night. And Birgit's, you know, she's retired and that. And last night I was talking to her. What a lady. God, what she's done is unbelievable. And what she's doing is unbelievable. And she said to me last night, you know, she said she's having problems getting stuff. She's got a little Fiat 500. You know, she's not a wealthy lady at all, but she's giving everything she can and doing everything she can. And she said, yeah, Eric, I am having problems. They want me to do all the dinners tomorrow afternoon. And I said, no, you know, there's people that can do that, Birgit. She said, well, I'm having problems carrying the boxes because I have a heart complaint. And I said, look, no, don't do it. You know, there are people, there's younger people and everything else that can do it. But Birgit, you've done an absolute tremendous job. Fair play. I mean, this is what the people are about. You know, it's so right. Well, I think that's about it. I don't. You know, we've really got to look after the refugees if we want our tourist industry to grow. We really have. You know, we can do something here that's incredible. You know, the Greek people are incredible. And democracy started here in Greece and everything else, and it's here, it's still here amongst the people. You know, the people that are doing such a great job. And you know, when I get emails coming back from Macedonia saying, you know, it really was welcome, even though, you know, some of the places here are just diabolical, unbelievable. They say the Greek people really helped them and they really looked after them on their journey and everything else. You know, in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, all these refugees that are coming through here by the hundreds and hundreds of thousands, you know, if they make their businesses and do their things in Europe and everything else, they're going to come back here to see the people that's helped them. They're going to come back to the islands, you know. And that's what it's about also, you know. The rest of the world will be coming here because they want to see what's going on and all the nice people that's helped and everything else. And they're seeing all these blogs and everyone else's blogs that are going out. There's loads of people doing things, you know. We really must do our best, you know, for Greece. We really must do our best for Greece. And we really must, you know, support our government all the time and give them as much support as we can. We must stay together as one. You know, we must get rid of these few people that's sticking out on their own, doing their own things and making a real bad job of it. You know, we must keep all together as one if we're going to really bring Greece out of this. You know, Greece really should be one of the top countries in the world. You know, the weather, the scenery, the hearts of the people. It should be one of the most prosperous countries in the world. You know, we don't get much rain and the weather is absolutely tremendous, you know, with a bit of common sense in there. And, you know, we could make this a really nice country, a really expensive country, you know, a really wealthy country. Everything's here. The wealth of Greece is here, you know. It's just some of the things that's gone on in the past, you know, and some of the bad propaganda throughout the press and stuff towards the Greek people in there. And I say the only way we can stop that is by, you know, the people that come here and everything else from England, don't buy these papers, for Christ's sake, and don't listen to them. You know what it's like. You've been here. Most people have been here before, you know. I had a Swedish couple here today, and they were saying to me, "Aren't you worried about the refugees? Aren't you scared?" Scared? God, these people are unbelievable, you know. And the reporters I had with me from that were doing a thing for RTL the other day, you know, they've been all around the world, and they say, you know, about the Asian people and that, and they say they're so polite, you know, and they offer you everything, and that's true. I mean, the one reporter, you know, he was filling up the other day because a little boy offered him some things. I've filled up a few times over it, but they are really polite people. They're not this thing that these horrible people on top are making out to be. They really aren't. You know? Right, I think that's about it. I think I've said everything I can. You know, we're gonna. At the moment, the seas it is starting to calm. So I know we're going to go through a lot more in the next few weeks until we can sort out these people on top here, and you know, hopefully the government will come in and something will happen. I don't know. We need something to happen. We need these people to walk away from one side and get some decent people here. If we really want Greece to survive, we have to get. And the thing is, it's only maybe 10 people. It might be 3 or 4 people. It might be one person. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I'd like to know their names and everything else. You know, I'd like to let the world know. You know, but. Maybe that would never happen, but you know, if you have this horrible heart, and you know that it doesn't comprehend with me, because you know I've lived here 16 years and I really know what goes on, you know. But these people on top, you know, you really, if you love Greece and that, you've got to stand to one side and put some people in there that have a heart. You know, you can't make people suffer the way you're making them suffer. This is wrong. This shouldn't happen in this day and age, anywhere in the world. You know, and you are responsible for it. And you're going to be responsible for the downfall of Greece if you carry on the way you're carrying on. I know that. You know, Greece will, you know, the tourism will go and everything, and we're going to be in a right mess. And there's no need for it. There's no need for it. A few people doing the damage. Yeah? And the thing is, they're blaming everyone else and making it look like everyone else's fault. It's not everyone else's fault, you know. Everyone else is in tense mood and everything else, but if you sort of used a bit of common sense and everything else and tried to help, you know, all this tension would go away. You know, it would really go away. You're making this tension, you're causing this tension, you're causing the friction between one person to another person because they're blaming this person for bringing the refugees in and things like this. This is rubbish. The refugees are going to come. We can't stop them. And they're always going to come. We're never going to stop them. What we can do is make it better for the refugees and that, yeah, and that the will is here, you know. there's millions and millions of people here that want to help the refugees, and now all this pressure being put on top, and they're making them frightened. These few people on top are making the people below frightened to help the refugees. Yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot. Hopefully it's not too long. I think it is again, but I have to say thank you to everyone again. I mean, everyone's doing a great job. Keep the good work going. And for all the people around the world, you know, we really do need help here. We really do. The people here are under so much pressure and tension. And everyone knows what I think about the bankers of Europe and the politicians of Europe. Hopefully they're changed, and you know, things will change and the world will get a better place. But that's a real big hope, I think, when you have these people in positions that shouldn't be there, doing all this damage to the world and to the people. It's anyway. Right, I'll put this one on in the morning and I'll keep you updated. Thanks a lot. All the best. Good night.